Hey, what's up everybody? It's Chris from Fast Cars Live, and today I want to talk to you about shifters and the problem that you could potentially have going from a 2-speed transmission, a power glide like what was in the Project 8PS Camaro, to a Turbo 350 or Turbo 400, or even if you upgraded to a 700 R4 or a 200R or whatever your upgrade is. If you're going from a 2-speed to a 3-speed or a 4-speed, or if you're going from a 3-speed up to a 4-speed or an overdrive transmission, you're going to have to change. Well, you don't have to, but it won't function properly. My recommendation would be to change the shifter detent. I'm going to do a quick installation video for you too. It's super simple. Honestly, believe that taking the console out was probably going to be the most difficult part of this job. But working with ShiftWorks, they have been awesome. They sent me the detent. This one happens to be their ratcheting style detent, and I'll show you how it works. But it is much better and much more defined than the original one. They also sent a new bracket. So this bracket right here will bolt to the bottom of the transmission pan. That's where your cable goes. And then this is an adjustable, basically the shift linkage, the linkage that goes on the transmission that actually cause it to shift. And even better, a new shifter cable. And the main thing with this cable, the reason that it's better than the original one, is it actually can adjust. You can actually dial in these the parts that the clip holds on, so you can actually adjust the length. And if you don't have the right length, you're going to either be sloppy in your shifting, or you're not going to be able to find the correct gear, which is the exact problem that I was having. With actually both, it was pretty sloppy, and I was having a hard time finding the exact gear that I wanted to be in. So bear with me for a second. We'll go through a quick installation video. I will put everything in the link, the part number and everything for this particular kit. Happens to be 67 to 69 Camaro. Actually, I think it's just 68 and 69 Camaro with the floor shifter, the horseshoe type floor shifter. So anyway, we'll get going. All right, so the first thing you're going to have to do, obviously, is take the console out, which I've already done. That's a giant pain in the butt. If you never done it before and the transmission is in, you're going to be fighting that the whole time. But anyway, so what we need to do now is we need to get this old detent out of there. So I'm going to start by just taking off the shifter cable. So you can pop that clip off. You take a little screwdriver and pop off this clip, which I do have a new one for that. And the cable is off. And eventually we're going to send that through and pull it out from the bottom. Next, you're going to need to remove, there's two bolts here. One is here, right here, and one is right there. And that will remove your detent. So let's go ahead and do that. And just hang on to this stuff. You're obviously going to need it, although they do give you, this was from the a ShiftWorks kit already. They do actually give you all the hardware you need when you order the kit. So, all right, so there's the detent, and here's a comparison of the two that go that way. So you can see when you're looking at these two, this old one doesn't have this ratcheting mechanism, and what that little hook does is it catches your shifter. And again, once we get it installed, I'll show you how it works. All right, so now we're going to install the new detent. So we're going to start by just putting it in. There's an adjustment that you have to do with it. So I'm going to start just by hopefully getting it started and get it in here. Okay, so now the detent is in. I didn't tighten it up yet. I just kind of finger tightened it. And what you want to do is you want to lift the pull the handle so that the shifter goes into the drive gate, and you want to just pull the detent up until the bar, this bar right here, till that bar is just barely touching the bottom of the detent, and then that way it won't move backwards and forwards. And then you're going to go ahead and tighten that up, and then we'll check it. So there's park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then all the way down to first. And the way it functions, I'm going to move this camera a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. But the way that it functions is you're going to be all the way down in first gear. You're going to pull and hold the handle up. And when you go to second, you just pull to second, let the handle go. And then when you want to go to third, up to third or drive, and you're all the way in. So that doesn't allow you to miss or skip any gears. I'll get a little bit different angle here, see if you guys can see it better. So we're down all the way in first gear, pull the handle up, second gear, let the handle go. That's your drive gear, and it won't let you go any further. So now you're in drive, and then all the way back up into park. So the next thing we're gonna have to do is get this bracket off and get the cable detached from under here. So you can see on this old cable, all it is a little cotter pin. So, and a little, so I'm just gonna pull the pin out, pull the cable off. This little pin right here is what was holding it in with the cotter pin. So that's off. You can get, well, gonna have to take the bracket off. Be careful because there's a couple little spacers in there. You want to hang on to those. I'm not sure yet if we're going to need them for the new one or not, but I'm going to hang on to them. And there you can see now the cable is out. All right, so something I wanted to point out, like I said, that the ShiftWorks cable comes with all the hardware that you're going to need to install it. Here is the original cable, and you can see it's really stiff. It has this little protective sleeve on it, which the new cable does not, so I'm assuming we don't need it, but it's really stiff and it's hard to bend into position, and that's roughly the position that you're going to find that cable in the car. It goes, well, it doesn't really matter, but it goes that way, and it does function pretty well if you look. But this one, the new ShiftWorks cable, much more flexible, so that's going to be way easier to get in. And if you notice, even if you put this in a really tight bend, it slides in and out really easily. This old one, if you have a really tight bend, which I'm not even sure I can get it in, it's a little bit, it works pretty good, but it's a little bit harder to maneuver. So that's why I decided to go with the new one, that and the fact that, like I mentioned, you can adjust it. So I'm gonna start the process in reverse now and get the new cable in, get the new bracket on, and the new plate on the shifter, on the transmission, and we'll get back to it. Okay, so I think we have everything all done and hooked up down here. We've got the new bracket on. We've got the clip in to hold the adjusted cable. We've got the new shifter attachment that goes to the transmission here. And basically the way you want this set up is you want from the pin, from the center of the pin to the face of the bracket in drive, you want it about 5.5 to 5 3/4, and it looks like we're right about 5.5 there. I was able to bend the cable really nicely, and it still functions pretty well. So let's go up and take a look up top and make sure we got everything good there. Okay, so I think we're all good up here too. We've got the cable in. I actually, my original car did not have, it had this boot in here, but it was not secured to the floor. So I went ahead and put in some self-tappers to secure the new boot to the floor. I got my cable adjusted here. I got the clip in. We got the other new clip from ShiftWorks to hold the cable to the shifter itself. Everything else, the detent is in and tightened and adjusted. And it, you know, as I shift, I can feel it going into the gears, and it's all seemingly lined up pretty good. Goes all the way down into first. Again, to make it work as a ratchet shifter, when you're all the way down in first, you hold you squeeze the handle, and then second will be straight up, let go of the handle, and then third or drive will be all the way up, and it can't go any further than back into park. I think that's pretty much it. It seems to be great quality stuff. I mean, I'm really happy with it. The installation didn't take that long. Like I said, the bigger pain was taking that console out, and actually putting it back in is going to be even worse. So just give us a moment and we'll sum it up. All right, well, there you have it. That was the ShiftWorks C350-4. It's the ratchet style shifter detent, and I used their cable as well, and all the hardware, and the adjustable transmission mount part to actually fine tune and make sure I'm in the gear. So it's a C350-4 68 and 69 Camaro ShiftWorks conversion kit. I'm really pleased with it. I'm happy that I ended up switching to it. It feels like everything is really solid and going into the gears where the notches are in the detent. It's really going to depend on when I drive it and figure it out. If I need to fine tune any adjustments, it's great because I'll be able to do that with the adjustments on either side of the cable. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please give us a big thumbs up. Please subscribe and follow the Project JPS Camaro build on Instagram and YouTube. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.